Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Christy, how are you? How was your week? Because you have been doing very well with this book of yours. Let's talk about it. Actually, here it is. Ladies and gentlemen, the Zagami family cooking book, authentic Italian cooking. Christy, you can present the book. Of course, it's your book, so I'm not going to present it.
I won't take too much of your time because I know you're here for the news. But this is my new cookbook.
Yes.
And I'm not good at this. I hate doing this.
But colored
anyway,
photos.
there's nice pictures inside. This is Leo's Illuminati pasta.
Yeah. Let's describe, for example, very quickly how the Illuminati pasta is made. There is a lot of ingredients here. So you have roasted peppers, anchovies, tuna. It's a great.
I don't like anchovies. So.
She doesn't like anchovies, but she has included a couple of recipes with anchovies because you need to do that.
Anyway, there's some Brooklyn recipes. Oh wait, I want to show you. And then there's some meat. I mean, I don't. Can you show the pictures? Can you just?
Okay, somebody is here in the chat requesting everyone's prayers. I hope it's for a good cause.
Okay.
So we will definitely direct our thoughts and our prayers. Welcome to the Leo Zagami show.
I'll pray for you.
Here we go. Satanic symbolism revealed in the 2024 Paris Olympics. There's a lot to talk about because I've been talking about Paris for a long time, since volume 6.66. Remember when I actually told you an area how Paris became the headquarters of the global satanic takeover. And that's why in 2024 we have all this satanic symbolism emanating from the inauguration of this event. Now, we need to immediately thank the sponsors who made this show possible. Christy, who are the sponsors of today's show?
We have Bruce Kodish, thank you, Bruce, and Malgarzada Minta, thank you very much, Malgarzada, and David Kammerer, thank you very, very much, David. And for everybody who bought the book, thank you all for sponsoring the show and helping us to be here today.
Yes, I mean, this book you can find on Amazon, like all my books. You can also find them linked at leozagami.com. My latest book, volume 10 of my Confessions. Hezbollah has just attacked directly Israel, and this will inevitably bring to the opening of another front in northern Israel. So it's about time that people understand what Hezbollah is, what Hamas is, all the various differences between the Shiites, the Sunnis, their involvement with Freemasonry, with various secret societies. This book is definitely a book you need. It's ranked, I must say, 5-star, no complaints. Even the Sufis, which I was quite critical of, have put a 5-star review for it because it's incredibly accurate. You have at the end of the book pages and pages of all the sources and citations used, which are very important and very credible ones. So this is my latest book. But of course, we have also Christie's latest book, which is the Zagami.
I didn't show the pizza.
Okay. The pizza. Yes, there is also pizzas.
See, that's a lemon arugula pizza. And then I just want to show the pizza.
Okay.
We had this one today.
This was today's pizza. This was today's pizza.
I make a pizza every Saturday. And we have pizza. It's our pizza party.
Yes,
and we don't like frozen pizza. When we lived in Italy, we would buy either if we would go to our favorite pizzeria and get our pizza there, or we would get frozen pizza. And then when we came, and the frozen pizza, it wasn't bad. We had one that was okay, but then we came here and the frozen pizza sucks. And and like to get a good pizza, like like the ones I make, you have to spend $60 here. I don't know how much it costs where you live, but everything is really expensive. So I always do all my own cooking. We never go out to dinner ever. So we can't afford it around here. It's too expensive. Who wants to spend $100 for a meal?
It's not a question only of spending the money.
Well, I don't want to spend it.
When you actually make your own food, you know what you're making. You know that the
Well, I know that I'm not going to give myself COVID. Sometimes I sit in these restaurants, so I'm like, oh, I'm not supposed to say that. What? I can't even say
you
it.
Can't talk about things like that because the algorithms get triggered immediately. And you have all these things appearing. We are at the moment broadcasting live on Facebook, YouTube, X, and Rumble. Now, the second part of the show, this has been like this for a couple of months now, is only exclusively on X and Rumble. But today there is also a difference at the end of the show. For the last 10 minutes, I will also detach from X and be exclusively on Rumble, and then later on, of course, on Band.video.
There's a reason for that.
And there is a reason for that, guys, because since the opening of this Olympics, they have immediately tried, they have basically done something that is unprecedented for the Olympics and for channels like NBC. You are not allowed to rebroadcast any part of it, even a small clip. They will immediately come after you, and they will actually lock down your Twitter account until you erase the whole thing. So we just acquired the blue check mark. we would like to stay
Is
on
that for
X.
the whole Olympics? The whole thing?
It's for any.
Isn't that kind of weird?
It's definitely kind of weird. It's weird, but it's obviously done because they want to they want to avoid criticism that inevitably surrounds this opening, which has various elements that we're going to be debating today, discussing here. Elements, of course, that bring us back to volume 6.66, because I told you Paris is the capital of Satanism worldwide, and there is a reason for that. The Caterina de' Medici, who was the wife of the king, became the queen of France, did the first black mass in Paris. She chopped off the head of a young boy to then be able to talk with Satan, and she celebrated this black mass. There is also traces of black masses being conducted in France even before that. That is the only one that is actually recorded in history as the first black mass. And then we have other black masses that became ever so popular for the French aristocracy. So there is definitely a lot that we need to discuss here, because I see people talking about the symbolism of the Olympics, but not really understanding what they're talking about. I just saw Fox talking about it, and they were like debating on Fox, of course, the anti-Christian message of this Last Supper impersonification by a group of drag queens. Now, I want to show you the image. We can show you the image. We can show you the clips. The clips will be shown at the end of the show, but we can comment the whole thing and, of course, debate and discuss it and analyze it thanks to these pics, and that will be okay. They will not, of course, bring us down only for sharing this. It's unusual, like you said, that they are bringing down the clips, but here we have a very unusual situation with a fat, overweight, supposedly transgender, or I don't know what, with a couple of CDs there, DJing in a kind of situation that resembles the Last Supper of Leonardo da Vinci. Now, even Elon Musk has immediately said that this is an insult towards Christians. and he has unfollowed for this reason the X page that is dedicated to the Paris Olympics. We also know that Elon Musk recently has discussed his own experience with his own son slash daughter who has transgendered and who he thought shouldn't have taken this decision so young. And I mean, it is definitely a very painful thing for a father to see the son or the daughter suddenly getting absorbed by this culture, this woke culture. But let's go back to this whole event, the opening of the Olympics. There is various images, and there is some that are truly disturbing, guys. I mean, there is also the Bacchus, because they said no, it's not it's not the Last Supper. It's Dionysus. This is something dedicated to Dionysus, and they said that even on Fox, if you remember, we saw it just earlier. But actually saying that it is dedicated to Dionysus is not much better, because Dionysus is the Dionysus mysteries are actually very much part of the mystery school tradition of the Illuminati, and I can demonstrate you that simply showing you and reading from this article that it's from one of the Grand Lodges here of Freemason in the United States, the New Jersey Grand Lodge, that talks about the rituals of the Dionysian artificers. That's how they were called, the people who were doing. These rituals are very well known since ancient times, and I explain you why. Because they were amoral, they were immoral. Dionysus is what the Romans call Bacchus, is dedicated to taking wine, taking drugs. These are the tradition of Dionysus comes from the Far East. It came through Egypt, it went into Greece, and it's a tradition of basically the son of Zeus, an illegitimate son of Zeus he had with a female queen, I think, or somebody. You know, Zeus is a god. Zeus. I say
Zeus.
And
Dionysus.
Okay, so Dionysus better.
No, but I don't know if that's right.
No, but
Zeus is right.
Zeus is right, but I pronounce it the traditional way, which is actually the original way in Latin. So, what I can say here about this whole satanic symbol revealed in the 2024 Paris Olympics is that it's particularly disturbing because it also sees the involvement of children in the presentation. Next to the drag queens, there was also a child, and this child was molested in front of millions of people.
What?
Well, I'm going to show you one thing now, guys, that is going to shock you. You see, this is Bacchus in front of the alleged Last Supper. They claim to be a ritual to the Dionysus. Whatever.
I think that's
okay.
Right.
Sorry for the pronunciation, guys. I'm not, unfortunately, perfect at times with the pronunciation. But in any case, I want to show you something here. This is Dionysus. No? You see him?
Yeah.
Well, here there is a guy with a testicle out.
Where? No.
Not only this guy with the testicle out was involved with a little child in the video, and I'm going to show you that. So, I mean, this is like...
Did anybody notice that?
Well, I mean...
Are people talking about that?
I don't know if they notice or they don't notice, but I want to analyze it, and I want to comment it with you, and I want to also share all my knowledge of this, because it's not only... there is also the white horse that was sent on the river there. I mean, it's...
Oh my God, he's got his... Oh my God, that is so wrong.
Okay, Now, the same guy you can actually see in the video, which we can't show now, we will show in the last 10 minutes, that NBC and this athletic organization.
I'm so appalled. I just cannot believe this.
The French have bowed down to Satanism completely. And we have a lot of friends in France, and we actually have some of them are following us now. We would like to send our
hi, Julian, we miss you.
Well, what I want to focus on here, because this is very important, is the depravity of it all. Because the same guy who had a testicle out was also in the same clip, which, like I said, I would like to show you, but I can't show you for copyright reasons, because they are deliberately trying to stop us from analyzing the video. But here you have the guy with the testicle out talking with a child who is in the video.
That kid is like, you can probably see that testicle too.
This is a girl, a little girl.
That's so.
And he is coming on to her, and it's visible in the video. This is France today. I mean, this is a scandal, guys. This is something that we need to analyze, because this might have repercussions for years to come. What does it mean that today we have a reversal of the Last Supper, Jesus that symbolizes the light, everything else, reversed in this image of drag queens, and in the center, this, I don't know what it is, but in any case, I would like to comment this whole thing with you, because it's incredible. I repeat, this is a reversion. Now, we saw it with the symbolism of the Last Supper, which we will analyze again. I want to analyze it with you because, as you know, I'm an expert in symbolism. I have published many books where I also discuss symbolism. And so it's important that we analyze this. By the way, Leonardo da Vinci was a painter and also allegedly a great initiate. So this is very important. Christy is just gone to shut the door that she left open. And here, so we have the reversing of the divine order. The reverses of the divine order, meaning man and woman, to create chaos, to create confusion amongst the sexes, and to destroy any trace of dignity. This reminds us of a prophecy that was given in the year 1900 by Rasputin. You remember Rasputin, of course, very controversial figure. Rasputin wrote a prophecy, which I can summarize it this way. I don't have it in the English language, but I can attempt to translate it. He said, when Sodom and Gomorrah, how do you say Sodom and Gomorrah?
That's right.
Sodom and Gomorrah? Okay. Will be brought back to earth, and the men will dress like women, and the women will dress up like men. You will see death passing by on a horse, the white pest. Now, this brings us also back to this this horse that was built up and that crossed the river. Now, I can't show you the horse. I will show you the horse, of course, later. I can show you an image of this horse. This diabolical looking horse reminds me a little bit also of that very pale horse, weird horse.
In Colorado, at the airport,
Yes, which I noticed also after my arrival here in the United States at the Denver airport. This horse brings us, of course, to the topic of the apocalypse. But let's go back to the topic, because they say, no, it's not the Last Supper, it's the Dionysian is Dionysus. Well, Dionysus is not much better, guys. Absolutely. I mean, the ritual that they used to conduct, these Dionysian artificers, was based on civilizing and mastering the inner beast, a primal nature of man, but also going against every constituted moral, destroying everything, making tabula rasa of all your certainties. So it's like really anti-Christian, ferociously, I would say, anti-Christian. And the ritual consisted in two sets of rites, a public one and an initiatic one. So we wonder if after this public presentation, there might have been also an initiatic. We know that Emmanuel Macron is a member also of the Grand Orient of France. The Grand Orient of France is not regular Freemason. It's irregular Freemason that doesn't believe in God, is filled with Satanists, is filled with communists, is called progressive, in fact, Freemasonry, aside from being called continental Masonry. The main festivity of these of the rites of Dionysus, also known as the rites of Bacchus in ancient Rome, included a mourning period over of Dionysus' death. It's a little bit like mourning in the Masonic lodge the death of Hiram Abiff, and then rejoicing over his resurrection. This brings us also to once again to something similar to Osiris. Osiris with Horus, with Isis. Osiris then it's kind of brought back into life. We see this concept of a ritual for the public, then that is definitely the presentation, the inauguration of the Olympics. Now, in Greek mythology, Dionysus, I repeat, is the son of Zeus, and a mortal, Semele, because, like I said, the gods, they could roam freely across their creation, the earth, and any woman they want. That is the rule of the gods. Now, therefore, he is part man, part divine. That's interesting. Interesting why. Why they're saying this is not Jesus, this is not Last Supper, but it's Dionysus. I mean, it doesn't make it much better. It doesn't like tranquilize us to see a guy with a testicle out next to Dionysus and a bunch of drag queens. So I mean, it's not about somebody. I saw one guy, I don't want to say his name. He's an author which I actually like at times, but I went on his Facebook and he was saying, oh, the Christians are fall for it, and now they are promoting, basically, thanks to their outrage, the Olympics. No, it's not so simple. Absolutely, because here we have elements of a ritual that is being conducted, and every single opening of the Olympics in the last few decades has been a ritual. Remember the one in London that was completely satanic, and it was actually presenting to us a future pandemic, by the way, without going into the details. Welcome to the Leo Zagami Show. We are discussing the satanic symbolism revealed in the 2024 Paris Olympics, which is, by the way, Paris, the worldwide capital of Satanism. So it's important to understand all this because there is a mystery here. Why they have been so open and so blunt about their satanic, this is how it is. I mean, they're being totally open about it. They have no shame.
They're mocking God.
Now, the Dionysian artificers, that was the people who participated and built the rite of Dionysus. It was a secret society. It was actually a secret society of the Illuminati. Today, you can actually go in any Masonic research lodge and they will tell you that the Dionysian artificers were a secret society whose primary purpose was to erect buildings. And we know that after setting fire to Notre Dame with Michelle Obama drinking on the same river, Seine, Then you have
Antichrist wife.
absolutely. Now, to join the Dionysian artificers who were the Illuminati of the time, a candidate had to be of a certain age, and a conductor was appointed to prepare the candidate for initiation. And here we have the child that was present amongst these perverts for initiation. Now, I will show you at the end of this, at the end of our show, we will go off X. We will have, of course, close the first part of the show on Facebook and YouTube, where all the algorithms forbid us. And we will show you this video in which this child is basically is getting initiated, because that's why this child is there. It's pretty heavy, guys, because I mean, this is like blatant and open pedophilia in front of millions of viewers, a ritual which is of course an occult ritual, and it's all very twisted and of course perverted. But let's move forward with the initiation of the candidate in the mystery of Dionysus.
Yeah.
Dionysus. Now, I want to say that when I had just a few minutes ago Fox saying, oh, well, their answer was, it wasn't the Last Supper, they were not mocking Jesus, it was Dionysus, it was the... I was like, what? Are they honestly telling us what they're doing? Because that's what they're doing.
Maybe they're hoping that nobody knows what that is, or they don't watch your
the
show.
The ignorance of most people is, of course, evident, but let's reflect on the ritual. Only those deemed worthy and qualified could advance. Now, the ceremony of admission into these mysteries, the candidate was first of all put in a dark room, which you saw is the chamber of reflection. Now, Christy, you were actually initiated.
I was in that chamber of reflection for 3 hours.
And you were initiated in a half English, half French lodge.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
There was a lot of witches, actually.
Well, it was French, a lot of French. Okay.
I saw all those witches.
Okay.
They grabbed me in the dark.
Well, okay. You can find more about Christy's experience in her book, Volume 1 of her Confessions. But let's move forward, because it's very important to realize what's behind this whole thing. Because, of course, people can say, no, but it's all... conspiracy theory, the right-wingers, they are extremists, the Christians. No, this is not about Christians or not Christians. This is about being honest with what we have been seeing. I mean, what is this? Is this a substitute for Jesus? Now, with all the respect I can have, and I don't want to say something that will get me banned from YouTube and Facebook.
Well, then be careful. Because I don't want to lose this channel.
What kind of?
Don't say it. Just don't say it.
I'm going to say it later. But what kind of DJ is this? And what kind of Jesus is this?
Just say it
if
later.
God is a DJ, definitely is not a fat woman next to a black drag queen. Sorry, that's it. If they ban me, their own problem. Okay.
No, it becomes our problem.
No,
then we don't have anybody watching our show yet.
No, we have X and we have Rumble. And at the moment, I tell you, the majority of our people are already watching us on X. And then let's see, we have 111 here. And let's see how many we have on Rumble. So then we can, but then we have that chopped head of Marie Antoinette. Marie Antoinette's chopped head is also...
What does that mean?
I mean, and when I show you the clip, it's actually quite fascinating how there is this kind of, I don't know, metal band playing, fires emanating, this woman holding the head talking, because it's, of course, a costume, the whole thing. We have, like I said, we have a lot of people also following us on Rumble. So we have a couple of hundred people following us. That's great. But remember, guys, the second part of this show is only on X and Rumble, so we can be a little bit more open about what we are discussing. Now, we were discussing, of course, they are admitting themselves they were doing the rites of Dionysus. This whole thing has been open to the world the moment in which they have confirmed that this is a Dionysian artificer's ritual. Okay, so the ritual. Let's move forward with the ritual. The chamber of reflection. You remember you are left there for a long time. Mystical chapel. You
have to stare at the skull.
You have to stare at the skull at death. And there's certain. Now, the chamber of reflection is a practice which only continental Freemasonry does. We don't have it in the majority of lodges here in the United States, though in the last few years they're trying to introduce it in certain jurisdictions. It's an extravaganza here in America rather than a tradition, while in Europe every single lodge has a chamber of reflection. If you are on the continent, if you are in England, they don't usually have a chamber of reflection, but they starting, at least from my own experience, to insert something similar. In any case, there are certain questions that are put to the candidate during what is the circumambulation around the altar, meaning they are made to go around. You remember? Okay. So it's very similar to the Masonic ritual, this Dionysian artifice ritual. It's a holy book. So what is this sacred volume of the law in this case? Because it has to be presented between two pillars, which are very similar as a concept like Joachim and Boaz. So during the initiation in the cult of Dionysus, in the Dionysian artificers, we have definitely a lot of elements similar to Freemasonry, and there is a revelation of sacred things. You are given a lamb skin or a sheep skin, actually, with a veil of purple. And then there was a torchbearer during these rituals. And the torchbearer in this case was Snoop Doggy Dogg, who arrived and said, I mean, this is insane, guys. I can't really start saying how I feel, because to actually see a ritual of a mystery school, which it's one of the many mystery schools that formed Freemasonry, portrayed in the open, it's kind of shocking. Now, we can't show you other aspects that I will show you later on, of course, when we will be only on Rumble and Band of Video. But I want to show you now why we are literally in a drag queen conspiracy situation, with Kamala Harris opening her own presidential race at RuPaul's Drag Race.
This together, and your vote is your power. So please make sure your voice is heard this November and register to vote at vote.gov.
Can I get an amen?
Amen! Now on with the show.
So, I mean, don't tell me that it's about French society here. We have half of America that unfortunately is following Kamala Harris and these people. So, I mean, let's go back to what we were discussing, remembering that there was definitely a ritual taking place, and there was, of course, a torch with Snoop Doggy Dogg, and then I mean, the guy smokes a lot of marijuana. I wonder if he then used the torch to light a joint.
I bet he did. I bet he did. So he could say he did it.
Here is Paris. After setting fire, this is basically the place where you have the permanent fire of the Olympics residing after this whole ritual. And people, of course, go there and Satanic symbolism revealed in the 2024 Paris Olympics. The ceremonies, of course, of Dionysus, of Dionysus, I call it.
Just say it the way you say it. You're saying it right.
Dionysus they were symbolic of a triumph of the spirit over matter. Interesting, in Masonry, we know the triangle represents the deity or soul, and the square represents matter, body, or earth. Symbolically, we have this apron in Freemasonry, and so it represents the triumph of the triangle over the square, or man's divine spirit controlling his worldly desire. But there is a difference here. While the rituals of Freemasonry are rather symbolic, and we can, guys, we can say that there is nothing really scary or inappropriate in a Masonic initiation if it's conducted in the right way. Of course, if it's conducted by a mind control freak, that's another thing. If it's conducted by somebody who wants to brainwash you, that's another thing. But the rites, instead of the Dionysian secret society, the Dionysian artificers, well, that's a little bit different. They go in search of the symbolically, the remains of Dionysus, which was continued amid scenes of great confusion because apparently he's dead. It's like Hiram Abiff, where is he? And the light succeeds to the darkness, and the candidate at that point is invested with the knowledge of the secret doctrine of the mysteries. Now, there is various things that I could say about these rites that involve Dionysus, because then there was the women priestess that were present. Lawrence Gardner is a little bit controversial. Not everything he wrote in his book I agree with 100%. In the last part of his life, the late Lawrence Gardner was also associated with somebody I didn't really like that much, and I didn't think it was that. But he was somebody who knew Freemason, knew the ancient mystery schools, wrote a lot of books, and he actually quotes a book written in 1802 by Joseph Hippolyte da Costa about the Dionysian artificers. And there is actually an article which I think appeared on The Square, which is another important Masonic publication, British Masonic publication known worldwide, which might be of interest for you in this situation. And it's here. I think I can show it to you, so you can have a look at it and understand the importance that the Illuminati give to this is the actual Dionysian artificers, the Freemasons Chronicles, a weekly record of Masonic intelligence, sketch for the history of the Dionysian, and then from Hippolyte to Joseph da Costa. So the same author. This is probably, I think this is part of the cover of the frontispiece. And this little work may be regarded as, so to speak, the holy grail of Masonry. So you see, these rituals that they have portrayed in the Olympics, they're not just out of nowhere, guys. He said here that da Costa, the author, must have been a man of profound learning and a large but he was also fueled by liberal ideas. His fragmentary sketch was written at a time when anything like a just appreciation of the mythology or religion of the ancient Egypt or Greece was very rare. It was the common opinion of men who passed for authorities that the system of ethics which guided the wonderful people who flourished for so many ages ago on the banks of the Nile was a degraded one. Now, this was when Freemasonry still had, and the people and their culture was still viewing these pagan things in a negative way. Nowadays they don't. Nowadays they actually encourage this whole aspect, let's say. So it's important today for us to analyze all this. And I actually picked up a fragment of the Dionysian Artificers, the history of the secret society by Joseph da Costa, on sacredtext.com, and I found it here, and maybe Christy can read some, just a couple of paragraphs, or at least this passage here.
And you make it bigger?
No. You need to get a pair of glasses if you want.
No, I'm fine.
Okay.
The mysteries of the ancients and the association in which their doctrines were taught have hardly been considered a modern modern times, but with a view to
decry and ridicule them. So here he is basically defending, of course, this system of ancient mythology that has been treated as monstrous absurdities, debasing the human reason, conducting to idolatry, and flavoring the depravity of manners. But the thing is, however, they deserve attention, he says, if the motives of their inventors rather than the prolificacy of and ignorance of their corruptors be contemplated. So this is quite controversial. It was quite controversial and is still quite controversial. Now, I also have some other notes here from another book. It's in Italian, but I can translate some elements of this book, which I find interesting. Now, a lot of people seem to associate the word Dionysiac, which was very popular for people like Jim Morrison, for example. He loved the Dionysian concept and the Dionysian rites. But he also loved Huxley and the Doors of Perception. So, I mean, he really was kind of brainwashed into all that. Now, it's always associated with the hedonistic behavior. So there's always an association with it. And Dionysus, it's one of the most, is described as one of the most scandalous cults in the ancient Mediterranean. So why do you want to associate the Olympics with one of the most scandalous cults in the Mediterranean? Question mark. Of course, if you are an Illuminati and you are nowadays a Freemason in France, you are very liberal, you're very progressive, you're promoting drag queens, transgenderism, and every single depravity of this modern era. That's obvious, no? And it was imported, all this, of course, from ancient, it has been imported from ancient Greece. So there is a connection because the Olympics come from ancient Greece. So that definitely there is also a connection. But like I said earlier, originally it was the cult of Dionysus comes from the East, from India. And it's definitely characterized by a lot of contradictions. And Zeus had this love affair on Earth. The wife, very jealous of Zeus, got Dionysus eventually killed. That's who got him killed, this whole story. And then the incredible thing is that they cook him and they eat him. I mean, there's also some cannibalism here in the whole story of Bacchus, Akkad, Dionysus. And at that point, Zeus pushes the Titans to create again a man from the ashes of the original Dionysus. So it's quite incredible. But the incredible thing is that Dionysus can be portrayed as extremely violent, like a Taurus, black Taurus horned, or like
a Taurus, you mean?
Yes, or like a. Okay, so it actually has that drag queen element, this god. And the cult of Dionysus used to promote the fact that we were imprisoned in a cage of flesh, and we needed these drugs, this alcohol, this decadence in the ritual to go above this carnal stage, this flesh stage. So that is what Dionysus was preaching. And the Bacchanali of Bacchus, Dionysus, there was the Menadi. Now I don't know how you translate them in English, but the Menadi were the high priestess that were protagonists, and they drank a lot of wine also, of sexual rites, violent sexual rites, which mean often rape. Now we are still on Facebook and YouTube, but we are leaving. We're going to go further in the second part of this show. Christy, who we have to thank today for the sponsorship?
Bruce Kodish, David Kammerer, and Malgorzata Minter.
Now, guys, this is the end of the month. So you can support us, of course. I would suggest today to purchase this book if you want to know more about Paris, the occult, and of course, Paris as the capital, worldwide capital of Satanism, is volume 6.66. There is Christie's new cookery book, which is also another way you can support our show. Seems like that's another great way you can support our show. And of course, there is also the sponsorship. Now, you can do the sponsorship anonymously, or you can decide to join the family of sponsors that we mentioned during the show. And you can sponsor us with GoFundMe. You can sponsor us with Cash App. You can find the handle at leozagami.com. I'm going to put here on the screen the GoFundMe. So if there is anybody interested in helping us, just let us know if you want your name or not. Well,
they're not helping us. They're helping to have a show.
Well, helping us putting together this show, it's a
lot of work for him, too.
He
spends a whole day, and it takes away from the writing, when he's writing. So it takes a whole day to put one of these shows together.
Absolutely. And
it's expensive.
And it's expensive in the summer because we have the air conditioning that costs up to $600 in the summer here in Palm Springs. I'm sorry to say that, but that's the price, unfortunately, of living over here in the desert.
Terrible.
At the moment,
you can't even go outside at all.
Yes, so if you want to help us, GoFundMe, Cash App, or just purchase a book. And I would suggest where is the book?
It's behind you.
Okay. Here the Zagami family cooking book is the latest book of the Zagami family. It's authentic Italian cuisine with great pictures.
I showed that one already.
And also recipes.
Ooh, that one's really good.
Yeah, this is pistachio.
That's shrimp.
Fettuccine.
Yeah.
Very
show that one. That's my
this
favorite pasta. That's pasta piselli.
but also Christie's recipe of the famous fettuccine Alfredo. Okay. Bacchanalia, yeah, Bruce, you're right. Bacchanalia. So who were the sponsors today? We said Bruce Scottish and then
David Kemmer and Nagar Minty.
Okay. Now there is, of course, our music.
She's in the UK.
Yes.
I wear this because this is my London shirt, and I wear this from Malgarzada. Everyone, I was going to London and then to Italy to see him, and somebody on the plane in London asked me if I was a London girl.
Why are you wearing this?
I was wearing this.
Okay.
Do you remember it was like when I was?
Yeah, I remember. Now there is a music interlude by Vincenzo Viceversa, who is also the author of our fantastic covers. And there is, of course, a video.
I don't do autographs. Someone was asking about
autographs only if you come here in Palm Springs during one of our book presentations.
We don't send these books out. They're printed print by demand from Amazon. Self-published, so it's not like this big production. I do everything.
It's a family production.
It's a family. It's a do it yourself, because that's the only way to get it done.
Yeah,
so.
And actually here we have
correctly.
We have, by the way, also the Zagami family pics at the opening of the introduction of the book. A lot of interesting pics. This is my grandfather, who was also captain in the Navy. My grandmother. This is my great grandfather, Sicilian. This is me. This is me actually at the casino of San Vincent in the 80s. And then you have also Christie's side of the family.
Look at my beautiful family.
Yeah.
They're from Naples, Italy.
Yes.
Show them up there. That's Antonio Baldessari. He thought he was the king of Naples. He used to tell everybody he was the king of Naples.
Yeah,
I believed him. Well, he wasn't alive.
He actually was making the feathers for the...
Oh, for the Rockettes.
Oh, the Rockettes.
He did the feathers for their costumes.
Okay, so I see you on X and Rumble after this music break. Please join us after the break on X, Leo Lion Zagami, or the Salis X. We are now with the blue check mark, so you can find us very easily. Or simply putting Leo Zagami on Rumble. And
you didn't have to pay for it either. They gave it to you.
Well, they gave me the check mark. Yeah, that was a great thing.
A lot of people pay for check marks nowadays, and they pretend they're important.
Well, I have to now still pay, because now suddenly Elon has decided that only the people who pay a minimum can do the streaming.
That's because he's going under. Because in 2022, he was really going under. He's been going down.
But X is going very well.
I don't like him.
Well, but actually, he's doing some good things.
Is he going to kick us off of here now?
No.
I don't care.
I think that Elon Musk, I tell you, I actually saw a recent interview, which maybe we should comment in the future. Very interesting interview.
Why, you like him more now?
No, because I think that the guy at least admitted that he has some faults, and that he's not really, good. And he admitted that bringing out the ultimate AI, which is starting to do with this Grok. How is it called? Grok? Grok. I mean, at least when I asked who is Leo Zagami to the AI that Elon Musk is building, it was not a woke answer, and it was actually quite positive and quite accurate. Something that instead doesn't happen with ChatGPT. ChatGPT gives fake news. A lot of fake news said all kinds of bad things, especially in Italy. ChatGPT said all kinds of negative things that were not true. So I think that building an AI, which...
And what they said about you was not very nice either.
No, like I said, what ChatGPT has said in Italy was absolutely out of order. But I see you on X and Rumble after Vincenzo Viceversa's Medieval Ball. Yes.
In that time, our world has taken so many steps in the wrong direction. In the negative utopia, science, technology, social organization, dehumanization. In the negative utopia, science,